They said it was just a slap, but that one slap took a life. The boys didn't mean to kill her, they just wanted to humble her. But death doesn't care about intentions. And many years later, when guilt became heavier than their shadows, they came back, begging for forgiveness. But some things, once broken, can never be mended. Hi everyone, I'm Patience. You see, life is strange. Sometimes it's the people closest to us that destroy us quietly. That's why you must never let jealousy live in your heart. Because envy doesn't just kill others, it kills the person who carries it. The story began in Egwa, a small village in Benin, where children chased kites in the evening and neighbors still borrowed salt from each other. It was a bright afternoon in Egwa Primary School. The students were gathered for their end-of-term celebration. Parents clapped, drums beat loudly, and teachers smiled proudly. The headmistress stood on the stage and read from the report card. First position in Primary 6, and our new head girl, Precious Okoro. The crowd erupted. The little girl stood shyly, her small hands shaking as she went forward. She was only 12, dark-skinned, bright-eyed, and always smiling. Her elder sister, Sandra, cheered from the back. Their parents were away for a family burial in Wari, so Sandra, still in secondary school, came alone to support her. The headmistress pinned the golden badge on her chest and said kindly, "Keep your head high. My dear, you have a bright future." But not everyone clapped. At the back of the crowd, 3 boys, Kelvin, Desmond, and Emma, watched with burning jealousy. Kelvin muttered, "Na because teacher like am." Desmond hissed, "She too dey do like say she perfect." Emma's jaw tightened. "Make we teach her small lesson. She go remember say she be ordinary person like us." And that's where the darkness started, with envy. Days passed. Precious continued her normal life, happy, helpful, innocent. Every morning, she swept the compound, helped Sandra cook, then went to school barefoot with her books tied in a nylon bag. After school, she helped her mother's friends sell bean cake, akara, and fried plantain. Her laughter was known in the street. She never fought anyone. But jealousy is blind. One sunny afternoon, she was returning from the market, balancing her tray of food on her head. She was sweating, singing softly under her breath. Then she saw them, the 3 boys, standing by the roadside, pretending to play with stones. "Precious," Kelvin called, smiling. "Come here, we'll go buy akara." She smiled, innocent as ever. She walked over, her sandals covered in dust. She gave them some akara, and they paid her. But then, Emma stepped forward. He wasn't smiling anymore. He looked at her, eyes cold, and said, "You think so you better pass everybody." Precious frowned slightly. "What are you saying?" Before she could move, Emma slapped her hard across the face. The slap echoed. She dropped her tray, akara rolling into the sand. "Stop!" she cried, clutching her cheek. "Why you slap me?" They laughed. Kelvin kicked her tray. Desmond hissed, "Next time, no go form sense for school." Her eyes filled with tears. She bent down to pick her scattered food, as people watched from afar, but didn't intervene. They thought it was just children fighting. They didn't know that the slap carried something deadly. Because the night before, the boys had gone to an old man, Baba Nosa, a man known for medicine. He had given Emma a black charm and said, "Rub am for your hand. When you slap her, she go lose everything where she make her proud. Her brain go turn." But he never told them that the charm could kill. That evening, Precious came home quietly. Her cheek was red, her tray was half empty. Sandra looked at her. "You didn't sell everything." She forced a small smile. "I'm tired, sister. My head is spinning." "You've been under the sun too much. Eat small food and rest." Precious nodded weakly, lay down, and closed her eyes. Sandra didn't know that her sister wasn't just tired. She was fighting for her life. Hours passed. Sandra was washing dishes when she heard a strange sound, a choking gasp. She rushed inside. Precious was shaking violently on the bed, eyes wide open, lips trembling. Sister, she whispered, voice fading. Sandra screamed, "Somebody help me!" Neighbors ran in. Mama Rita helped carry the small girl. They rushed to the clinic, barefoot, shouting her name. The nurse tried, the doctor came, but her pulse grew slower and slower. At exactly 9:43 p.m., Precious stopped breathing. Sandra screamed till her voice cracked. She held her cold body, crying, "Wake up, Precious, please, wake up!" But she didn't wake up. The next morning, the entire village was silent. Egwa lost its laughter that day. When her parents arrived from Wari and saw her body, her mother fainted. Her father fell to his knees, dust covering his trousers. "Whoever used evil on my child, your joy will dry up. Your peace will flee. You will confess before you die." He repeated it 3 times. People said even the wind stopped blowing. The 3 boys didn't sleep that night. Kelvin had nightmares. He saw Precious in his dream, standing by the well, staring at him. Desmond felt a strange heat in his head that no doctor could explain. And Emma, the one who slept her, began to hear her voice calling his name every midnight. "Emma." Sometimes he would wake up and find his hand shaking. Sometimes he would feel as if someone touched his face, the same place he slapped her. The guilt grew heavier. They stopped coming to school. Their parents moved them to another village, but peace didn't follow them. 10 years later, Sandra had moved to Benin City, but she never forgot. She still kept her sister's old school badge and picture in a small box. Sometimes she dreamed of her, always in that yellow dress, smiling, holding akara. One Sunday morning, Sandra received visitors. 3 grown men stood at her door, older, thinner, faces full of shame. It was Kelvin, Desmond, and Emma. They knelt before her. Their voices cracked as they confessed everything. Kelvin said, "We didn't mean to kill her." Desmond sobbed, "Please forgive us. Every night I still see her." Emma couldn't even look up. Tears dropped to the floor. Sandra cried as she listened. Later, they went together to her parents' house in the village, along with the pastor. The 3 men knelt down before the gravesite and begged. The pastor placed his hand on the father's shoulder and said softly, "Let God judge. Forgiveness brings peace." Through tears, Precious's father said, "We forgive you, but may you never forget what envy can destroy." Her mother wept and nodded. The boys cried like children. A week later, Emma returned alone to the mango tree behind the school, the same place Precious was buried. He carried flowers and knelt by the small mound of earth. "Precious," he said softly, "your family forgave us, but my heart still burns. Please forgive me too. I didn't know what we were doing." A wind passed through the leaves. He smiled faintly, as if he heard something. Then he stood up and began walking home. The road was quiet. The sun was setting. As he crossed the old junction, a speeding car came from nowhere. There was a loud crash. By the time people ran out, he was gone. Weeks later, children walking to school said they sometimes heard a small voice near the mango tree. A girl's voice, soft and playful, singing, "Akara, hot akara."
Forgiveness frees the soul, but consequences always find their way home.
Thank you for watching this story. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more.